Do you feel like you have so many things you want to get done, but there just isn't enough time in the day? Listen up, this video is for you. So as a neuropsychologist, a mom, wife, and business owner, the number one question I get is, how do you have time to get it all done? And in today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly how. As someone who talks about productivity, I've always felt this pressure to paint this before and after picture of how I used to suck at productivity, and then I adopted some magical system and all of a sudden became so much more productive. But that's just not my truth. My truth is I've always been productive because I had to. Growing up and well into my 20s, I had big dreams and very little time and very little money. I never really had the privilege to waste time, and I never had the privilege to let life just take me wherever it was. I've always had to juggle multiple roles, multiple jobs, multiple responsibilities, and make the most of my time because that was the only way I could get ahead. So since my first job at Spring Creek Barbecue in 9th grade, I've juggled a safety net, a backup plan, and pursuing my dreams. So in my younger years, that meant school, juggling a low-wage job, and modeling. And while my current life doesn't include a safety net or a backup plan, my new juggling act is balancing being a neuropsychologist, a mom, a wife, and a business owner. So to be honest, there have been seasons of desperate hustling that led me to overwhelm and burnout, especially in my college years, balancing working doubles as a waitress on the weekends while modeling and attending college during the week, or balancing multiple jobs while getting my PhD. But there was always a larger goal guiding me in the background and my higher power really helping me to get back on track. But over the years, I really honed my ability to juggle it all, and I started blogging about creating a sustainable hustle all the way back in 2016. But really becoming a mother was the real kick in the butt that I needed to put my goal getting and my productivity into overdrive. It was like pressing the sports mode really on my efficiency. So I've devoured all the books, all the research on productivity and goal getting, and I started helping other women implement the same system actually. So I'm proud to say I've become a pro at managing my time really out of necessity, and I'm honored to share what has worked well for me over all these years of juggling all the things. So let's jump right in. So to paint this picture, I want to use the metaphor of an artist and really think of ourselves as artists creating the beautiful canvas of our lives, right? And any artist usually starts with the vision of what they want to create. So my first tip hack for you is intentionality, especially if you can have a vision in place, is going to be really important. Books like the 12-week year talk about that, and other things, even from the Bible to manifestation, all the things talk about really deciding on what's most important to you, what are your values, and what is it that you want to create with your life. So you need to be very clear on what is your goal, what are your goals for your time that you have, and you want to streamline and consolidate all your efforts like a little bullet heading straight to your target, because you have a clear focus of where you want to go. And with that vision then moves into the organic next step of planning out how you are going to create this art, how you're going to meet those goals. So you have this vision of how you want to spend your time and what you want to get done with your time. Then you want to move into planning out your time using strategies like planning out your 12-week year, also then breaking it down on a mission planner. You have your goal planner, but then it also includes your quarterly planning, your monthly planning, weekly planning, and daily planning. Your daily planning is where you're going to do that realistic time blocking, and you're going to look at your schedule like a puzzle and make everything fit together. You're going to say, okay, this is how much time I have realistically, making it very tangible. Here's my plan for this quarter or this 12-week year. How can I fit in based on the time that I do have the things that I want to get done? And be sure to include buffers in those daily schedules, because we always feel like we're going to get more done than we can, but really using your time management as looking at it as a puzzle and fitting things in based on your plan, which is based on your vision. Okay, so moving on, the next things that artists have to deal with in our kind of time management strategy is writer's block or painter's block, things that kind of get in the way of them doing the actual work, right? And they have to have a process of getting through whatever is getting in the way, getting through those blocks of what's blocking them from doing what they love. And for us in our time management system, that's going to be procrastination busters. What are the blocks that are making you procrastinate to actually get the work done? So here are some procrastination busters that are going to help you move through any blocks that are stopping you. So you've allocated the time, but when you sit down to do it, you just kind of find yourself procrastinating or scrolling or doing other things. Here's some things that are going to help you. The first one is accountability. Again, the book, The 12-Week Year, talks a lot about accountability. I'm personally in an accountability group that has been really helpful to help me stay accountable for my content creation and things like that, and some other things I'm doing on the side. I also, in my job as a a neuropsychologist, I like to give myself accountability through my clients. So I will schedule feedback for reports, and that knowing that I have that feedback to give the client feedback on the report lights a fire under my butt to get it done. Especially if you're neurodivergent, having that outside accountability is going to be really helpful. You can also do things like inherent rewards to help you with procrastination. So an inherent reward means it's built into the work that you're doing. So for instance, I am juggling my full-time job as a neuropsychologist and creating content. So I know the faster that I can get these reports done, the faster I can get to some of the more fun things like either research for clients or creating content. Think about those inherent rewards that come with getting your work done if you find yourself kind of blocked with some of those harder tasks that you have to do. I also have some pretty rules for myself that I adhere to. One of them is it has to get done today rule. So I like to, when I set certain things in my calendar, I make sure that, okay, if I didn't get it done in the workday, that means I have to work in the evening. I don't like to work in the evening, so I usually am pretty motivated to get it done during the day. But just because I maybe got distracted or things didn't work out or things took longer doesn't mean it's going to bleed into the next day. That way my next day, the things that I have planned for that next day, I can stick to it because I don't have things bleeding into it. The next thing for procrastination is really just finding meaning and passion in the work that you're doing. Like I said, doing the actual report writing, for me, is a little difficult as a neuropsychologist. I like the brainstorming and the testing part of it, but then sitting down to do the admin of writing it all out can sometimes just be a drag. So I like to think about finding the meaning in that type of work, reminding myself how I'm going to help clients. Also things like keeping it simple. I am a perfectionist, and perfectionism really can make you procrastinate because you feel like things just have to be perfect. Keep it simple. And then the other thing that I do to beat procrastination is I race the clock. So using timers, time expands to what we allocate. So making sure you're allocating time for what you think, doing some time audits to get a good idea of how long things should take. And then when you sit down to do it, putting that timer and racing the clock. If you like this kind of information, I am a neuropsychologist that shares so much information on my channel on how to intentionally get more things done so you can enjoy your dream life. So be sure to subscribe. So the next thing an artist does is they get in the lab and work. If you think about a lot of musicians, they kind of buckle down in the studio to get that artistic flow. Writers, they kind of go out into a cabin so that they can focus and get to doing the work. And I want us to do the same thing. We got to sometimes just put our head down, focus, and do the work. The buzzword for that is the flow state. So being able to get focused enough to do the deep work required to meet your goals is going to help you manage your time better and make more time, because when you do sit down to work, you're focused and you're actually getting important things done instead of just being distracted and lollygagging around wasting your time. A few kind of hacks that help me get into a flow state when I'm working are using alpha wave steady music. Talked about that a lot here on my channel. Turn off your darn phone. There is an app called Flora that's free that can help you not go to your phone with a little tree that you kill essentially if you pick up your phone to get on Instagram while you're supposed to be working, that people have touted the benefits of. Another thing I want you to do is use compartmentalization and batching. So the more that we have to switch tasks, there's a lot of research that shows that that kills our productivity and our ability to focus. So you really want to put all your tasks together into batching them. You can use all-day events in your calendar to put out certain batch days, like each of my days, or just running events of my content days, my report days, my clinical days, my testing days. So all the sort of things, all my meetings are in one day, and everything, you get the point, is together so I don't have to switch between tasks. Currently, besides my batch days, I use my mornings for deep work on my neuropsychology days, or doing my glam on the days that I'm going to be filming content. Some other batches that I have, nap times on the weekends, so when my kids are sleeping, I do my fun administrative tasks that I can do in bed, or my beauty treatments, like this weekend is going to be doing my nails, or getting my hair done, those kinds of things, getting a massage. And then my evenings, I really like to optimize by having a wind down routine after work, having my routine with my kids, and my evening routine, working out, skincare, and shower, and that kind of stuff. And then I like to do fun work in the evening. So things that I'm excited to do, so it doesn't really feel like work, like scripting or editing a video for social media, that kind of thing. So it's still optimizing my time, but it doesn't feel like work. And I usually have something on in the background. And then to wind myself down from the screens, I'll usually do my reading for my personal self-development to fall asleep. So then I get in my reading. Okay, and then the last thing that really helps me focus is present moment awareness, to focus when I am doing the thing that I'm doing, whether that be with my kids or doing the work that I'm doing. I just try to use mindfulness to stay present with that moment, and use capturing to put aside any thoughts that may try to distract me. So if I'm being present and then I know, oh crap, I forgot to do this one thing, instead of switching and going to do that thing, I put it in my capture system. I have a whole system that I use in Notion to help me capture ideas. This inbox may be a post-it for you, it might be within Notion or your notes app. at, but having a place that you can put things down so you don't get distracted when you're actually doing work. So there is a quote about how an artist, when they're using a statue, is more about what they take away than what they add. And I think that applies as time management artists as well. So we really want to work on eliminating. Yes, we want to juggle all the things. We want all the things. We're multi-passionate. I get it. I'm not trying to take that away from us, but we also have to work hard to prioritize and eliminate. So you want to remove the unnecessary. For instance, in 2023, I really let go of Instagram and TikTok so much, and I just focused on my YouTube channel, and that's when I grew the most, is when I just bunkered down and said, this is going to be my priority. So remove the unnecessary and kind of think about what's going to move the needle the most for you when it comes to that vision that you have for yourself. And then there's also, when you have a full-time job and you're multi-passionate, there is some work around acceptance around you won't be able to do as much of those things that you want to do, that you see other people doing that are just, you know, full-time content creators, for instance, or full-time neuropsychologists that are really diving deep into doing more research and, you know, getting published in journals or whatever it is. That those are some examples for me. Whatever it is for you, maybe you are a working mom and you see that, you know, there's some stay-at-home moms that only do that. They get to do so many fun things with their kids and your time is limited to after work and the weekends. There is some acceptance around realistic time that you have as someone that is juggling multiple roles and really scheduling things out that are not in your genius zone, being realistic about the time that you do have. And then obviously for eliminating, you want to outsource, baby. You want to outsource. So for me, I outsource video editing, social media management. We have house cleaners that come every month. We get a babysitter usually once a month as well. So if I need to catch up on things, my kids are in daycare, which is a huge outsource. I use AI sometimes for mundane like admin tasks, like descriptions. I use Fiverr to help me someone clean up my email. Outsource, outsource, outsource. Anything that you don't have to do or that you don't want to do. If you can get help, even if it's asking a family member to come and help you, do it, do it, do it, do it. And then that moves us into the artist process. Every artist has their own process. And for us, when it comes to managing our time, the process is so important. And that involves systems, habits, and routines. So Tiago Forte, the author of Building a Second Brain, said, our minds are not meant to be storage devices, but creative engines. So you want to be able to have a system in place that you can take everything out of your mind. It's going to help you be more productive because everything has a place for what you want to get done. I do have a Notion template that I am rolling out this August. It is based on Building a Second Brain and the tenets of the book, Getting Things Done. It's a Notion template that's going to help you capture, process, review, and engage. That's the whole system. It uses the method. So you have your projects, the different areas of improvement in your life, you have your resources, and you have your archive. And it's a really thought through system. If you've been on my channel in the last month, you know I've been working really, really hard on this template, and it's just something to help you have a system to organize your life. Once you have everything organized in your life, it's gonna make managing your time so much easier because you have a flow. So for me, I capture, like I said, any ideas. I have an inbox in my Notion where I can capture any tasks that I need to do. I manage my projects in there. So whether that's a home project or a work project with deadlines and reminders, it really is a second brain. So you don't have to think about all this stuff. And it's a system that you can keep up with it. As far as routines goes, I have my planning routine on Fridays. That's when I get to review like things that I had put in my inbox during the week. Maybe I didn't have time to put in the right place. Also plan the week based on my monthly and quarterly goals, those kinds of things. And then I really engage with that system that I have created using my Mod Ambition Planner. So kind of the Notion system that I have helps me manage everything, helps me, you know, keep up with running things, running projects. And then my planner is like my day-to-day. That's where I do my time block. I like to have my digital system, and then I have my planner, which is how I kind of engage with that system, meaning how I put it into action during the week. And then having it in Notion helps me ongoing, so I don't have to rewrite, you know, everything. So I will put a link in the description to this new template that I have created for you guys for you to check out, and maybe can help you as well. I also have reset routines, cleaning routines, self-care routines. I also have habit tracker that I use. So I just have I put a lot of things on autopilot, so I don't even have to think about it. And I suggest you do that for yourself. If you're looking for routines that can help you, you know, in your life specifically, what I recommend doing is to list out all the habits that you want to implement into your life based on different categories. So what are the habits for your family life? What are the habits for your skincare and your self-care? What are the habits for your work? All the habits in the different domains in your life, and then plug those into different routines that you can keep up with. A morning routine, an evening routine, a monthly routine, a weekly routine. And that can help you sort of make sure that your routines are reflecting what's most important to you. I do have a habits and routine organizer PDF for you for free that I will link in the description as well. If you want more specific tips on how I manage my time, be sure to check out a video I did with all my time management tips for you to watch next. And until next time, cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Namaste.